Welcome back with another video on TryHackMe.com. Today we're gonna go with source code security. I'm Muhammad Zahir Nazir and this is TryHackMe.com. Okay, so before further ado, let's check our DevSecOps performance until now. As you can see, we are a bit behind because we didn't do anything today, and overall progress is 24%, and we are on strike 4. So let's get into it, guys. Thank you for all the love and support on multimedia channels and all the social medias channels. Thank you very much for your support, and if you have any comments, please put down below in the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's get into it. Source code security. So this is gonna be two-part because I'm gonna create 30 minutes video and then another 30-minute video to cover all rest of the tasks. So I'm gonna cover, I think, from task 1 to task 4. I haven't done this before, so I don't know how much time it will take, but most probably 30 minutes, and the rest of the tasks will do it in the next 30 minutes, okay? To make the video a little bit shorter. Because I tend to see that you guys are watching the video a little bit shorter. If I upload 1 hour video, usually you guys don't stick until the end of the video. So what I'm gonna do is go with 2 parts video from now on, okay? Source code security. Learn how to keep your source code secure using Credential hygiene practices. So it will take 60 minutes. So let's see the introduction first. Oh, so they have animation here. Introduction. In today's fast-paced software development landscape, protecting your source code is crucial to ensure the integrity and confidentiality of your application. This is very true. One of the critical tools in the source code management is version control. Version control and all the related information we have covered in previous video. Just watch the part 5 of the series on DevSecOps, which allows teams to collaborate, track changes, maintain a history of their code base, which is very important. तो अब ये एक बैनर है जिसके अंदर pipelines हैं और the code can't hear you scream. Learn to secure code in the secure code security room. Sure. Secure pipelines, source code security, DevOps, SDLC, Melmols, TryHackMe. Okay. Learning and outcomes. In this room, we will delve into the fundamentals of source code storage, version control, जो कि हम already कर चुके हैं. I don't know why they are getting back to it, but let's see. Primarily focusing on the popular version control software Git. Okay, Git की actual practice I think करवाएंगे. While there are other version control systems such as VCS or Mercurial, Git has gained widespread adoption in the software development community due to its flexibility, scalability, and powerful features. That is very correct. We'll begin by understanding what version control is, why it is essential in DevSecOps, development, security, and operations, and explore some examples of version control software. We will then delve into Git, exploring its various commands, workflows, best practices for securing your code base. By the end of this room, you will have a solid understanding of source code security, version control with Git, and how to manage your code base securely and effectively. Let's delve into it. So we're gonna complete. So our strike will be 5. We still need 85 days to go to achieve the next batch. Okay, task 2. Score बड़ी जल्दी आ जाते. Git and Linus. Okay. Linus एक channel भी है, by the way, on YouTube. The story of Git. Git's start was categorized by creative destruction and controversy. In terms of scope, the Linux kernel is a large open source software project. Patches unachieved. Files were used during the early years of Linux kernel maintenance, 1991 and 2002. Very early, it's very early. And in 2002, Linux kernel development introduced and used a distributed version control system, DVCS, called BitKeeper. However, in 2005, when Larry McAwee, BitKeeper's creator, developed the strained collision with the Linus community. It resulted in the Linus community losing access to BitKeeper, causing significant disruption in the development. Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux kernel, I think, decided to create a new DVCS to replace BitKeeper. He started working on Git in 2005 and released the first version of Git in the April 2005. He designed the system so developers could work on a project from anywhere, easily merge changes made by multiple contributors. Linus Torvalds based Git on his experience working on the Linux kernel and his desire for a version control system that could handle the demand of large-scale distributed development. He also drew inspiration from other version control systems like BitKeeper, Subversion, and Monotone. Since its release, Git has become one of the world's most popular version control systems used by millions of developers across various industries and projects. That is very true. ये जो लाइनस है ना, लाइनस टोरवाल्ड्स, ये बड़ा ज़बरदस्त गाय है. इसने लाइनक्स का कर्नल क्रिएट किया और लाइनक्स इटसेल्फ भी, और इसने गिट भी क्रिएट किया. मैं टू बिगेस्ट इन्वेंशंस in computer science. So, I mean, this is amazing guy, right? This is what I want to do someday. कोई मैं बड़ी चीज करूं जो कि millions of developers across the world can use. Okay, so ये बड़ी जबरदस्त चीज है, and he's very fortunate to do that, right? Git offers the following benefits. Since it is open source, you can contribute anytime without paying for it. Its performance is better than any other version control software since it is focused solely on the contents of the file rather than their names. That is very true. Through hashing, Git protects the code and changes history. यानी कि उसने hashing भी उस वक्त introduce करवा दी थी. It's really awesome. I mean, introduce नहीं करवाई, hashing use की. Many organizations are using Git as a primary version control system. Even अब मुझे नहीं पता कि कोई ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर हाउस हो जो गिट को यूज ना करता हो, राइट, इन वन वे एंड अनदर. ओके, इतना ज़्यादा ये पॉपुलर है. व्हेन वाज गिट रिलीज? 2005. ये व्हाट डिड लाइनस कर्नल यूज फॉर a DVCS previous to Git? BitKeeper? Yeah, BitKeeper. Yay! So we are down to task 3. It is taking considerably less time to complete. I don't know. I mean, I'm targeting 30 minutes for 4 tasks, but it is taking less time to complete this. Maybe the actual practical will take more time, right? Maybe. So let's continue. Version control's concept. Version control source code security is critical to software development, ensuring that code remains secure, protected from unauthorized access, tampering, or vulnerabilities. One essential tool for managing source code security is version control, which allows teams to keep track of changes made to code over time, collaborate effectively, and maintain a history of edits and reversions. Okay. How does it work? Version control uses a repository. ये थोड़ा सा हमने पिछले लेक्चर में भी कवर किया था. Consider it is a database of changes and a working copy where developers make edits. The working copy, sometimes called a checkout, is a personal copy of the project files where developers can make arbitrary changes without affecting their teammates. क्योंकि सारा कोड आपके डेवलपर की मशीन के ऊपर है, तो इसलिए without affecting other developers' code, you can work independently. When satisfied with their improvement, they commit their changes to the repository. Distributed and centralized version control. ये थोड़ा सा हमने कल टच किया था. Version control can be centralized and distributed. In centralized version control, there is a single repository. Updates are immediate, visible to other upon committing. In contrast, in the distributed version control, each user has their repository and must post changes to central repository for others to see. Git, Mercurial, if I am pronouncing it wrong, apologies. And Subversion are more popular version control system. A distributed version control system like Git or Mercurial offers faster performance, increased error resistance, and advanced capabilities. Because they are more complex than the center version control systems like subversion, they can be tricky to learn. Yeah, इनिशियल लर्निंग कर्व इसका थोड़ा स्टीप है, लेकिन जैसे आप लर्न कर लेते हैं इट इज अ पीस ऑफ केक फॉर यू. Okay. In this learning resource, we will focus on Git as it is one of the industry's most widely used robust version control system. In the upcoming task, we will explore Git's fundamental concept and commands and best practices to ensure source code security and efficient collaboration in the software development. What type of version control is Git? Distributed. Yeah, so we are close to task 4. Okay, let's continue. Cloud-based version control. Introduction. Cloud-based version control is a modern approach to managing source code in software development, where the code base and version history are stored in the cloud. It allows developers to collaborate on code from anywhere, providing a flexible and scalable solution for distributed teams. Yes and no. If there are requirements that your source code will not leave certain premises, then cloud-based version control could not make sense. If it is public cloud, if you have your own private cloud, that it could make sense. But it depends on the situation, right? Cloud-based version control platforms offer easy access. That is very true. इसलिए तो cloud पे सारे लोग जा रहे हैं. Real-time collaboration, robust version history management, seamless integration with other development tools. ये इंटीग्रेशन वाली जो चीज़ है भाई, ये जानबूझ के अच्छी रखते हैं क्लाउड के ऊपर, ताकि आप आसानी से बाकी जितने भी डेवलपमेंट टूल्स हैं उनके साथ इंटीग्रेट कर जाएं. लेकिन आप सिमिलर ऑन प्रेमिसेस वर्जन देखेंगे तो उसमें मैनुअल स्टेप्स ज़्यादा हैं और इंटीग्रेशंस राइट अवे अवेलेबल नहीं है. ये ज़्यादातर चीज़ें आप देखेंगे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की ऑफरिंग में, right? Overall, it provides a scalable, collaborative, efficient solution for managing source code in modern software development workflows. Yeah, that is right. Scalable है, collaborative होगा. For example, अगर Azure Cloud पे चले जाए तो Teams की उसके साथ इंटीग्रेशन है, MS Teams, और efficient solution है. मॉडर्न सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट के वर्कफ्लो वगैरह बाकी उधर से ही हो जाते हैं. क्लाउड के ऊपर है तो उधर से ही आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज ए कोड भी इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि क्लाउड पे हर चीज़ इंटरकनेक्टेड है, इंटीग्रेशंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा हैं. तो आप जो वर्कफ्लो चाहें डेवलपमेंट का, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट लाइफ साइकिल का, वो इम्प्लीमेंट क्लाउड पे कर सकते हैं. अच्छा जी, GitHub is cloud-based. It helps developers store and manage source code from anywhere in the world. It is the oldest of the services. Chris Vanstroth, apologies for not pronouncing right. PJ Hyatt and Tom Preston, Werner and Scott Chachon founded the company in 2007 and developed it using Ruby on Rails. See more detail for Git's history here. You can click on it and see the history. We'll just move on. Since it was the first open source code repository on the web, GitHub becomes the dominant platform. In the present day, developers can host their code and review it. बहुत ज़्यादा millions of public repositories available हैं. जो चीज़ आप डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, it is there is a higher probability that somebody have done it already, and there is a source code available on GitHub, and that's where the AI itself train itself, right? How to write code and everything. And if you use AI, you will see that a lot of stuff that AI will generate for you will be a ditto copy of the code available on the GitHub. So yeah. CI/CD with GitHub Actions, continuous integration, continuous deployment, or delivery. Remember, yesterday we have come across this term as well. Is a method to introduce automation into the stage of app development or the software development lifecycle. It introduces ongoing automation, continuous monitoring from the integration phases to delivery and deployment. All these together are what you would call a CI/CD pipeline. थोड़ा सा टच किया था हमने पाइपलाइन का, और ये वही चीज़ें रिपीट हैं. GitHub launched Actions वाली पाइपलाइन का नेमल बदल है, और in the GitHub worlds we call pipeline as actions. It is GitHub's way of evolving to give developers powerful automation and continuous integration and deployment. It comprises workflows where you can declare via actions how to build the code through the deployment pipeline. You can create activities like push, issue creation, or a new release, for example, to build a container or to deploy a web application. GitLab on-premises version. Throughout the DevSecOps path, we will be using GitLab like GitHub. GitLab is an open core or open source company, I think, company that provides a DevOps software package that combines the ability to develop, secure, and operate software in a single application. Founded in 2014, GitLab was created by Ukrainian developer Dmitry Zaporozhyak and Dutch developer Satyasi Sijbrandich. Okay, apologies again for not pronouncing it right. Fun fact, it was considered the first partly Ukrainian unicorn valued at over 1 billion in 2018, which was GitLab. From day one, GitLab was designed to be a set of collaborative tools and a code repository service. GitLab eliminates the need for third-party integration as it includes CI/CD tools by default and making it a convenient all-in-one solution for software development. CI/CD with GitLab. GitLab CI/CD functionality allows developers to automate their software delivery pipeline from building and testing to deploying and monitoring. GitLab uses runners, agents that execute jobs to enable continuous integration and continuous deployment. With GitLab CI/CD features, developers can create custom workflows, define stages, and specify jobs to be executed in parallel or sequentially. Parallel और sequential काफ़ी बड़ी चीज़ है. पैरेलल जो है, फॉर एग्जांपल आपके दो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं और दोनों की रिलीज़ एक साथ आपने करनी है, तो वो पैरेलल आप कॉन्फ़िगर करेंगे. अगर आपने सीक्वेंस में करना है तो सीक्वेंस में करेंगे. और इन दोनों की कहते हैं आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स हैं, और दोनों के प्रोज एंड कॉन्स हैं. This enables teams to achieve efficient and reliable automation of their deployment and development and deployment processes. Okay. GitLab also emphasizes reliability by providing features such as built-in container registry. That is a big plus. Otherwise, you will be using public container registry, and if it is public, then everybody can access what you are building. Okay, so the GitLab itself, if you have it, they will have built-in container registry, which is a big point if you are moving towards cloud native services and microservices and containerization. Built-in continuous deployment to Kubernetes, awesome, and GitLab pages for hosting static websites. Additionally, GitLab allows for creating multiple stable branches beyond the main branch, providing better version control and release management. In summary, GitLab's built-in CI/CD capabilities focus on reliability and all-in-one DevOps platform, makes it a robust software development and deployment solution. When was GitHub founded? 2005. We already know about this, right? No, 2014. No, GitHub. Founded was 2007. Okay, 2007. Okay, what do cloud-based VCS store? Where do cloud-based VCS store code? On cloud. Not sure. Hint देखते हैं एक दफा. You may need some help from your favorite search engine. Where do cloud-based VCS store code? Favorite search engine. Okay, let's see. Repositories. It's repositories. It's very misleading question, guys. Very misleading question. Storage could be anything. I mean, blob storage or whatever, right? Repositories. Even on-premises are storing the code in repositories, right? Okay, we are 20 minutes in. Let's continue. Task 5. Insufficient credential hygiene. This will be the last task before we close for today. And once we come back, we'll start with the task 6. Okay. All right. Insufficient credential hygiene. Okay. Introduction. Maintaining good credential hygiene in the CI/CD environment is crucial to protect against potential security risks. That is very true. Various systems and individuals within the engineering ecosystem use credentials such as secrets and tokens. Yeah, and secrets and tokens come under the umbrella of secret management, not this version control. To deploy and access resources and other highly privileged actions. However, securely managing credential can be challenging due to different contexts in which they are used and stored. Issues such as insecurely stored credential in the code repositories, improper use in the build and deployment processes, leaving credential in the container image layers, printing credential to the console output, neglecting to rotate credential can all lead to security breaches. That is very true. Security, highest form of security को maintain करना is it's not a joke. It's require a lot of consideration, a lot of maintenance, and a lot of hard work. और ये सिर्फ एक बंदे का काम नहीं है. There should be somebody responsible to take care of the security part, right? In every layer. Risk impact. Attackers highly seek credentials to access valuable resources and enable malicious activities. Engineering environments offer multiple opportunities for attackers to obtain credentials. Human error and knowledge gaps in the credential management can increase the risk of credential exposure and compromise of critical resources. Compromise of critical resources. Recommendations. Ensure the credentials follow the principle of least privileges, privilege from code to deployment. This is what we had learned in the Microsoft software secure development lifecycle. Avoid sharing the same credentials across multiple contexts to maintain accountability and simplify privilege management. Use temporary credential whenever possible. Establish procedures to rotate static credentials and detect stale credentials periodically. Ensure credentials are only used under predefined conditions such as limiting use to a specific IP address or identity. This is very important in terms of network security of your devices and resources. Detect secrets pushed to and stored in code repository as code repositories using integrated development environment, plugins, automatic scanning, and periodic repository commit scan. They are saying that use some kind of automated tool like SAT to automatically scan and see if there is any user and password or something stored in the code repository, which automatic code scanning tools such as SAT will highlight. Okay, after the scanning, use built-in vendor options or third-party tools to prevent secrets from being printed to console output during builds and ensure existing output do not contain secrets. Basically यहाँ पे ये है कि अगर आप कंसोल पे कुछ आउटपुट कर रहे हैं for debugging, make sure that you disable the debugging once you publish your actual build so that there is no information available on the output as a logs, which is sensitive and which developers can read. Okay. Verify that secrets are removed from artifacts such as container image layer and binaries. This is very subjective, so let's say it depends on your environment. Organizations should consider implementing the above best practices to mitigate the risk of insufficient credential hygiene. Environment variables and best practices. This is very important. Let's see what they have mentioned here. The use of environment variables is an excellent method of promoting credential hygiene as part of software development and deployment processes. Environment variables are commonly used to store and manage configuration information. They store sensitive information such as IP keys, API keys, passwords, and other credentials. You can manage environment variables securely by following these best practices. Avoid hard coding sensitive information in the code. That is the number one thing to do. And if you're using any SAT tool, it will highlight if you're hard coding something in the code level, right? Use environment variables instead. Regularly review, rotate credentials stored in the environment variable, or use SSO instead of doing that, because the SSO mostly will also have multi-factor authentication, which is basically kind of rotating the credential. Like in multi-factor authentication, your second token will always be different than the previously sent, right? And there will be expiry date on top of it. Limit access to environment variables to authorized person only. That is very true. Only the admins on the machines can view it. Nobody else can even remotely desktop it, right? Or similar kind of permissions. Okay, well, privileges. Environment variables should be set according to the principle of release privileges. And privilege, yeah, I mean, just give the permission or role that the software require and no more. Okay. So this is the principle of least privilege, that, for example, if you just need to run the application, just give the privilege for running the application. If you are not storing any temporary file, don't give any privilege for storing the temporary files. Or other than that, I mean, it depends on the context and the application that you are developing. Implement monitoring and auditing mechanism to track changes to environment variables. That is very important. If implementing a secret management solution, explained in the next task. Review its encryption mechanism and if it's a good fit for your development environments. Implementing environments variable does not mean you are free from the compromise. This is, I mean, you need to do the best you could do. This is what security requires. You cannot 100% make sure that your system will not be compromised, right? This is how the security works, and you never know, because the software that we were developing for last 60 years, they did not consider the security, built-in security or security by design in the implementation. So we kind of stuck what we have here. Okay, following best practices is essential for ensuring they are appropriately implemented. Yeah, sure. What is a solution to store secret securely without revealing them? Secret management or config environment variables. I think it should be environment variables. Yeah, here we'd call it environment variables, but I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Yeah, it is true. Does using environment variable mean you are free from secret being compromised? No, of course no. We just read it. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining me on this journey today. We have completed from task 1 to task 5, and once we are back we will continue on task 6 until task 8. Thank you very much, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and let me know your comments in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.